Hello, so in today's video we're going to talk about how to draw a very simple storyboard for your client's next video project. My name's Constanza, I'm a freelance videographer from New Zealand, currently living here in Timor-Leste, Southeast Asia. Now there's two reasons why I end up drawing storyboards. The first reason is that it's a super valuable way to communicate back and forth with the client about what it is they're going to be getting when you finish the project. I find that a lot of clients that reach out have a basic understanding of this is what I want my video to look like, but it's not until you get the visual storyboard that you can really have the detailed conversations about this is how I want the opening scene to look, this is how I want the closing scene to look, these are the key messages, this is how I want the video to flow. That's where the visual storyboard really plays its part. Communicating back and forth with the client until you agree this is what we want the video to look like when you deliver it to us. Now reason number two is that on the day of shooting I actually take a couple of copies of the storyboard with me and I get the footage that I need for a particular scene in your storyboard. I actually tick it off, and so for me I know that when I get back here and I'm editing the video I'm not going to be sat here going I really should have got that shot, or yeah, I really should have got the person to say this key message, which definitely happened on numerous occasions before I started doing storyboards. So yeah, tick off as you go each scene so that you know you've got all the footage you need when you're editing in post-production. Okay, so you might be wondering, where do you start with the storyboard? And this is where I start.
Okay, so this is the storyboard. You have 9 boxes. You can have as many or as few boxes as you think you might need. And so in this opening box will be your intro. So that's your opening scene. Now, in my case, for this one, I'm going to say it's going to be an aerial drone shot. And I'm going to say that this is to showcase the venue. So now I'm actually going to use a storyboard of a video that I recently produced. So it was on a tropical island here in Timor-Leste, and what I wanted to do was showcase that island. So here's the island. Let's say this is a palm tree. You definitely don't need to be an amazing artist. Now there's the sea, here's the island. And so yeah, I'm going to have a drone shot. Let's draw my little drone here that's going to showcase the island. So next up, draw a little arrow. This is number 1. Number 2. Now here, this is going to be an interview. So I'm going to draw a person. Here's my person. Draw some arms, draw a face, do some hair. So this person is going to do an introduction of themselves and explain where they work, and their role. Excuse the handwriting. And so with this one, I'm going to have them outside, sitting outside of workplace. Okay. On to the next one, number 3. Now, when I was discussing a recent storyboard with a client back and forth, they asked for something to be included, which was the short-term goals. So short-term goals of the organization. And so what we're going to do here is make sure that this person talks about 1, 2, 3, the short-term goals of the organization. Now obviously we don't know what they are at this point in time, but we can make sure we talk about them. And again, we'll probably continue this, so we're going to say this is still going to be outside of the workplace. Okay, and then we come down to number 4, the current activities. Again, this is something that the client asked for. They wanted to talk about current activities. Now what we're going to do in this case is we're going to actually film some B-roll. So we're going to say this is B-roll. And what we're going to do is we're going to have, there we go, a couple of people. So we're going to have some people that work at the organization going about their current activities in the workplace. Now, what I'll do as well is I'll get voiceover, so B-roll plus voiceover explaining what some of the team members are working on and some of the current activities. So that will be work activities, and we'll be talking about those. So we'll put a little speech bubble there to show that they're going to be talking. You definitely don't need to be an amazing artist, but I'll show you one of the finished storyboards that I've produced for client projects when we finish this one. Okay, so number 5, what we're going to do at this point is we're actually going to bring in another person. So we're going to say this is going to be a woman. Again, quick drawing. There we go. So that's going to be my person, and they're going to be speaking. So they're going to introduce themselves. Himself even. They're on the board, and their role. And then number 6, we're going to have that same person. Okay, let's make sure they look the same. Amazing. And what that person is going to be talking about in scene 6 are some of the challenges that this particular organization are going through and experiencing. Okay. And again, for these two, we want to think about where. So let's say these ones are going to be inside the workplace. So we'll find a suitable spot inside the workplace, and this one is inside the workplace. So we'll find a suitable spot inside the workplace to make sure the lighting is good and the audio is good, and just to mix up the scenes as well. So then we're going on to number 7. Now what we want to do here is I want to show maybe, so we're saying that this is a tourism business, and so what I want to do is show some tourists arriving. So here's your tourists. Let's just give them some hats randomly. That's going to have some hair, and okay, that's them. They're turning up on, let's say they're turning up on a boat. That's my boat there. I'm going to put a random cell on the boat. So they're turning up on the boat, and here we're going to have people to greet them. So these are the people that are working, that I'm filming, and these are the people here that are turning up on the island. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have some B-roll footage of tourists arriving on the island, and then the people here greeting them. And so what we'll do maybe here is we'll try and get an interview with one of these people that turn up, one of the tourists that turn up, and we'll just get a little bit of information from them, what they're looking forward to on the island, and how they found out about the island, etc., etc. Okay, so then we're going to number 8. Now what I want to do for number 8 is we're going to go back to the original person that we were filming, and this is going to be a talking head piece. So let me just get this person, need to get their spiky hair in. Draw the hair however you want. So this is the same person that we had here in number 2, and also the same person that's talking about number 3. Now in number 8, what this person is going to be talking about is their future. So what we're going to talk about is some of the goals for the future. So future goals and dreams. And so yeah, this person is going to talk about their future goals and dreams. And now what we want to do here is we just want to mix things up a bit. So what we might do is we're going to say we're going to be walking and talking. So it's going to be a casual walking and talking, and then we'll say along the beach. Okay, so then we move on to our final scene. Like I say, you can always add or subtract more boxes on the storyboard as needed. So for the final scene, scene number 9, what we're going to say for this particular scene is that we're going to roll the credits. Now we're going to have particular credits that have been provided by the client that we need to roll. That needs to include the website, so we'll just say we'll just say website.com randomly, and also we're going to say thanks to organization. So that's going to be the name of the organization that we're filming here, just to give them a bit of promotion and a bit of a thank you. So that's how it's going to finish. So this is how our storyboard looks. Now what we're also going to say is, okay, so this opening drone shot, it's going to include music, so we'll include some licensed music in that, and then I think the rest of this we're going to say that will just be, actually what we might say is this, we'll bring the music back in here and we'll bring it back in quiet, and then we'll have the music to finish as well, just to tie it all in nicely. Okay, so next up I start adding in particular camera angles, whether it's a close-up, whether it's a medium shot or a wide shot. And so I've started doing it here, obviously, so I've said this is going to be an aerial drone shot. So this one I'll say is a medium shot of a talking head of the person talking here. This one will be the same, so this will be a medium shot. We're going to say that this is a wide shot here, so that we can get the people arriving on the island in the boat, and then the team welcoming them, and yeah, a good wide shot there. Again, this is going to be a medium shot here. And I think what we'll do is when they're talking about some of the current activities here with some of the B-roll and the voiceover, we'll get a close-up of some of the activities that they're doing. So maybe someone typing on the laptop, typing some communication emails and so on. We'll get a close-up of the hands and so on. That'll be good. So that gives us a good mix of different shots. And then what we can do is we can get a really good understanding here of, okay, the type of shot we're getting, the type of scene, the type of information we're going to talk about, particular messages that we're going to include, and yeah, really helps on the day of shooting.
So this is the storyboard that we've just drawn up. Obviously this one didn't take very long, as I've just kind of made it up as I go, but it does follow quite a few storyboards that I've developed in the past. Now a lot of the videos I'm developing tend to be around about 10 minutes long, and they're promoting good positive stories, tour operators, hospitality operations, and hotels, cafes, etc. And they tend to follow a very similar format, talking head and showcasing and promoting those particular businesses. Now in the real world this would obviously take a little bit longer. You would be talking face to face over email with the client to figure out some of the key messages and some of the key steps, and also using the project brief that the client will have sent you to make sure that you've covered all the key points that they've talked about in their brief. Now what I do next is I would take a photo of the storyboard and I will email that to the client, and then I'll then catch up with the client to discuss the storyboard and each one of those boxes in the storyboard, and then start to make changes to the storyboard as per the conversations with the client. Now eventually you'll get to an agreement on the storyboard being approved and then organising the actual shoot. I will take a copy of the approved storyboard with me on the day of shoot. I'll hand out a few copies to people that are involved in the filming, as well as people that are in front of the camera, so that everyone is on the same page and knows how the story is going to flow and what type of shooting we're after, etc, etc. And during the shoot I'm simply ticking off each box of the storyboard as I'm getting the footage that I'm happy with, that I can use for the video. Obviously you're not always going to get it in one take. Things may take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 takes, etc, etc. But yeah, when I'm satisfied that I've got a really good take, it contains the right key messaging, the right footage that I'm happy that I can use for the video, I tick off the box and we move on to the next one. And then when I come home and I start editing the video, I'm using this storyboard and I'm simply ticking off as I go.
So that is a real life one, very similar to the one I've just developed. This one probably took around about a week to develop, back and forth with the client, comms changing and so on. It was all done over email in this case, as we're in different countries. But yeah, after a week we all came to an agreement on the video, the type of video we were trying to produce, and then we went to the island and we shot the video.
Okay, and that's how I draw a very simple storyboard for my client's next video project. If you did find some useful information in the video, hit like, and if you want more of this type of stuff, as well as some of the adventures I'm having here in Timor-Leste, hit subscribe. Cheers guys, we'll speak to you soon.